So I would ask everyone who is first time to hear about our club and what do you expect from your participation in this meeting? And may I offer you, lady, please present yourself.
Yes, hi to everyone. My name is Katerina, and well, I'm here because my friend asked me to come here because, like a lot of people, I have fear of public speaking. So she said that that's perfect place to adapt, I don't know, to overcome my fear. So my expectations, at least, start to speak confident in front of the audience.
When did you know first time that you have fear of public speaking?
I think in the university, during the classes.
Okay, you're welcome. Irina, please present yourself.
Okay, my name is Marina. I first knew about this club during, thanks to my teacher of Italian. She introduced me and she said that it will impress me very well, and I agreed to come. That's why I'm here. What I expect to to speak more fluent, to speak more faster, to find out easier the appropriate words, which exactly, which exactly. That is my problem. That's all.
Okay, you are in the right room. Please, young gentleman, please present yourself.
Thank you. Well, my name is Lad. I am a regular person, nothing special, nothing fancy. But using my spare of detective skills, by which I just googled, I had found your site and decided to pay a visit. I have certain ambitions, academic ambitions to fulfill, and I need to enhance or maybe augment my speaking skills. So I would like to try it in your facility. Maybe it will help me, and that's why I'm here.
In what scientific field do you work?
Law.
Law? You're welcome. You, please.
Hello, actually, this is not my first time. It's gonna be my second time here.
Okay.
Yes, my name is Can. I'm from Turkey, Istanbul. I also study here as a medical student, which is great for me. I love medical fields. Other than that, I'm here because I would really like to improve my language skills. Also, to be able to talk and communicate with different people and to express yourself in, like, for example, you see some, how to say, to express yourself is like painting a picture almost, but like with your words, and the better you get at it, the better you're gonna be able to communicate with the other people. So I would like to practice it. That's why I'm here.
How do you know it? What did you mean? From YouTube or from Facebook, other social media?
Oh, the Toast Crackers Club?
No. About this thing that you said, about something special that you seek for.
Yes, I understand. I think that was from YouTube. That's what influenced me most.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Other people were in our club. Hello, Lena.
Hello.
So, dear friends, let's start our meeting. So, we have the panel of experts because we study how to speak in Russian. So, let me introduce these people. So, the first I give the floor to Alex Gusev, who is timer. Please, Alex, explain for us, for our guests.
Okay.
What will you do?
Okay.
Lucy, step 1, nogmaals dat, is door the right possibilities for everybody to speak. But with your time limits. for our meetings, about 2 hours. So the speeches should be and should be regulated on the basis of time also. Not only structure, not only grammar, but also time. My function is to watch how timing is executed. What I will do? For example, we have 2-3 minutes for speech. I will do such a way. I will take this notebook to show that you have 1 minute to finish. 1 minute to finish. This notebook approximately it's very time to finish. This pen, it's time to finish.
I'm sorry, could you
Oh,
offer?
this is right. Yellow. Approximately 1 and half. Green?
Green, yeah.
Green, of course. Here, green. 1.5 minutes to finish. Yellow. 30 seconds to finish. Orange or red, time to finish.
Thank you, Alex. Next expert is accountant. Accountant is tonight Alex. No?
I didn't register, but I don't do that like I do that now. So try to think, not to speak, to think, and after that you can speak. So.
Alex, thank you. And now it's the turn of grammarian. Yelena, are you ready to be grammarian? Okay, Natalia, what about you?
So yeah, I could. Improvisation is my logo, but I need some few minutes to prepare word of the day.
So you have few minutes.
Okay.
So dear friends, we have last expert, grammarian, and I will explain about the rules of our meeting. Usually our meeting consists of 3 parts. The first part for prepared speeches, the second one for impromptu speeches or table topic session, and the third part is for reports of experts and evaluators. Tonight we have not prepared speeches. Lena.
I wanted to be a joke master.
Okay, and we have also joke master. So Lena, where are you ready to present?
Well, in the second part.
Okay, okay. So if we have not prepared speeches, we have warming up session. Warming up session serves us for warming up before table topic session. So we choose some topic, and we are not so good prepared, but every speaker has 3 minutes for speech, and he or she presents a point of view, like brief speech about this topic. Tonight is topic, Darina, can you repeat, or I can read it probably. From agenda, yes, it's in agenda here. Yes. The unexamined life is not worth living. So I'm not who is the author of this topic, but it's interesting to listen everyone who is ready to share his or her point of view on this. So as I remember my childhood and the first years of adulthood, my life was examined.
Excuse me, one question. We have 2-3 minutes for speech.
3 minutes.
3.
3 minutes for warming up session.
Thank you.
So dear friends, we have a few keywords. The unexamined life, what is not worth living. Unexamined life, what is it? I don't know, but I would say about something that is opposite to this meaning. Examined life. I understand is like the life of my predecessor. I mean my granddad, grandmother, and so on. So my mother repeated the life of her mother, and it was examined because it was examined the people who lived before them. Nowadays, I suppose that we have unexamined life, and I'm ready to present for my son, for example. You will be not cosmonaut, you will be not military or policeman as I dreamt before. You should to seek for your own way. So friends, what do you think about unexamined life, and is it worth or not worth of living? As for me, it's unexamined life is worth of living because it's some prize for us, and we should seek something new for us. Nevertheless, if we have the advocate of this idea that the unexamined life is not worth living, you are welcome. So, do we have volunteer to present your point of view on this topic? What do you think about this idea? So, may I ask you to share with us? I'm sure that you have many examples what is unexamined and examined life, because probably you were present in many exams in your life, in literal or an unliteral meaning. Please.
I think it would be better to start with the advocate of this topic, because I am not. I don't think that any type of life is not worth living. If you get this rare chance of living on the earth, it means it is worth living. If we understand examination as trial or test, of course we have a lot of tests in our life. Of course we have a lot of examinations. Every day we meet people who look at us and compare their own life with our life. We see people who are around us and we want to influence somehow. Especially when you have your own children, you want to bring them up in a definite way. Of course, they think that they are examined by us. But I think that examinations, tests, and trials, they come here to our life to make us stronger, to make us healthier, to make us happier, and to make us more creative. Because as students, we all have been students. As students, we know that there are no chance to go through examinations if you are not creative. You need to be creative. If you are asked a question that you don't know the answer to, you can still get a very good mark. But you need to be creative. You need to use your imagination and all your previous experience in life. If we go somewhere to get a new job and we have no experience, we try to be creative and we try to find something good in us to introduce ourselves. So every day we go through examinations. Every day we go through different trials. But in my dream, I want to live the life without those examinations because they make us nervous and worried, and sometimes our own self-esteem goes down if we are not very lucky and if we are not good enough. So I think this life is still worth living even without examinations.
In my childhood, I was a fan of Indians, and I remember this story about their habit of initiation of young men. So they should get some like examine in hunting, in living in wild wood and something else. And after that, this teenager has the right to get married and to have family and to be adult person. Without this initiation and without this exam, he was still young teenager, not adult man. So what do you think about examined life, and what is the role of this thing in your life? And we continue, and probably it's time to listen to future doctor. Please, please recall your name.
My name is John.
John.
And what's your name?
Yuri.
Yuri. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So you have 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yes, unexamined life. And
Exam.
what do you think?
Okay. So good evening. Welcome all of you. My look to examined life versus unexamined life will be a little bit different. So life itself is an examination. There are some trials, there are some difficulties, there are some easy things that happens, and some really hard paces that we go through. And in those hard paces, we overcome the difficulties, and that's how we grow. So if we do not look at our insecurities or flaws or mistakes in life, we will not grow. So examination in those fields should be done as well. What I'm trying to say is that we have to do some inner work. We have to shed light on the darkest parts of ourselves, let's say. For example, if you're lazy and you don't want to study or you don't want to go to work because like it is really difficult and nobody wants to get up when they're sleeping in their cozy beds, you can say, okay, I will get up this morning and I'll get up in the bed in like 15 minutes, and this will be my rule. Even though you do not want to do that, if you examine your behaviors, your patterns of behavior, you will change it. And when you change it, you can also change your life. You can be better, you can get better, you can create a lot of different things. You can make a company, you can have different connections with other people. For example, if I didn't examine my life and think, okay, maybe I can connect with some other people and talk to the people that I do not know, and I can express myself in a different way. I can communicate, and all those things, I wouldn't be here. That was my examination, and that's what life is. So that's what we should do. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Great speech. Thank you for the portion of motivation. We continue, and we would like to know more from our guest. And I would ask our guests what they think about this term, this topic, unexamined life. And as I remember, exams are about universities, and I remember one not very good, but at least it was the quote by American writer Charles Bukowski. Hospitals, police station, prostitutes were my universities of life. So I understand that you have another academies and universities. Please share with us where did you did you do your life exams? Katerina, may I offer you this question? Because we need to change. We spoke about Indians and the initiation of teenagers, so we want to know about you also. So where are you now, and what sort of exams did you get in your life?
You want me to share my exams or
Please,
just
you have, I give you the chance to speak first speech during 3 minutes on the topic or on other topic what you want.
Well, I don't know. Okay, so every task in your life it worth living, because for me, examination of my life is okay. For me, an unexamined life is unexplored. So I would say that it is more important how much. Hi, sorry.
So,
that's really not easy. I mean,
okay, do you have the plan for the Black Friday?
I just, just 30 minutes ago, I just looking for information, but not really. Okay, just, I don't know how to start, sorry.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for this event, but it's not the last during this meeting. We have impromptu speeches, and you will have the chance. Vyacheslav, please make the cross in your list about the speaker. Okay, and friends, I will interrupt, I should interrupt our meeting because I forgot to present grammarian. Grammarian is very important role during our meeting, and please meet Natalia Chagarna.
Hello guys, sorry for being late, but I have nice work for today. So, today I'm a grammarian, and I just want to shortly tell you about my duties and this fine word which I find, which I take for today. Grammarian is a role, is a person who listens attentively, sometimes not very attentively, to all the speeches, and not only speeches, but the presentation of chairperson, and look for some interesting phrases, also for some grammar mistakes, and fix them, then gather them. And in the end of the meeting, I will present you in what we are good, in what we have to improve ourselves. And the word for today, this one, is concomitant. Concomitant is something like co-occurrence, something, an event or situation. I'm sorry that I show my bag, but in Ukrainian, something like suputnik. So the situation or event that happens at the same time. For example, quality and equity in education must be conceived as concomitant. And I do propose you to use this word as much as you can during today's session, and wish you good luck.
Thank you, Natalia. So, friends, please try to use that as much as you can. We continue warming up session, and probably we have a few people for this session. So, who would like to share point of view about unexamined life, and do you like it? So, I cannot ask Darina, because Darina is a student, but nevertheless he is teacher also, and exams are essential part of her life. So Darina, can you share with us what do you think? Really, do we need exams in our life, and would be our life not easier without exams, and so share with us how do you overcome exams in your life, in university and in life also.
Okay. So I think that every day in the university is our exam. Why? Because we every day we learn how to communicate with each other, and first of all we learn how to communicate with teachers. Yes, there are a lot of different subjects in the university: literature, Italian, English. Someone has different kinds in the medical university. There are a lot of kinds of anatomy, biology, and etc. But you know, we find different way to each teacher. We try to learn it, to learn him better, the teacher, because it will be much easier for us to understand his way of thinking, how he explains us each material. And that is our exam. Exam, it's like literally. I'm not talking about the exam like when we come to auditorium, yes, and sit, have our piece of paper and should write down. Yes, it's also exam. We learn how to improvise, how to find some creative ways to avoid this problem. That, for example, the night before we didn't mention this task or that task. It doesn't matter. But the exam is in our day. When we are talking with the classmates, with class friends, with our friends, with our teachers, parents, this is exactly the exam. And it means I also want to say that unexamined life is not worth living, because it means that you are not doing anything. You like just sleep, you get up, go to work, and you didn't analyze, you didn't pick up any interesting moments, you didn't think over what you have done, why it was wrong for you. So that's my point of view. So thank you very much.
And probably a last speaker for warming up session. Ludmila, are you ready to share with us, as I know you had the trip to Bratislava to win, and probably you studied something new, and how can you relate it to the topic of our meeting, please?
My recent trip to Bratislava, not only to Bratislava, to some other cities in Europe, was some kind of exams also. At first, it was the exploring and visiting the new places, very interesting places, and new culture, new city, new museums, new place, new cousins also. It was very interesting. It was very impressive also, but it was also some kind of exams in this trip, the relationship with our colleagues, because it was very interesting group with our all colleagues, Ukrainian guides from different cities, not only from Kiev, from all cities from Ukraine, Lviv, Zaporizhia, etc., etc. We also, all of us were like a tourist in this guide. It was sometimes difficult for us because we used to speak, to show, to be a leader, to be guide in group, and in such case we have to be like a listener. It was not easy for some of us. It was some kind of exams to our behavior, of course. And we knew a lot of very interesting new points of different our colleagues and our friends, of course. And I think that the most important exams in our life is the new knowledge about our friends, about those people who near us, about close people, of course, our friends, our relatives, and our family. And our group in Europe in this trip was our little family for these few days. And it was, I can say that it was good exams for us, very useful, very interesting, and unforgotten. I want to repeat this trip once more. Thank you.
Okay, dear friends, we had warm enough session, and you had a chance to be warmed up. And excuse me, and I see you first time in our club. Please present yourself.
Talking to me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Lilia. I'm a journalist, and I'm passionate and curious about learning English. That's why I'm here, if you don't mind.
Would you like to share something with us about unexamined life?
Probably next time.
Okay, you are welcome. And you, young gentleman, please, what is your name?
My name is Artem. So I like to improve my skills in speeches and in my communication skills. So because of this, I'm here. Thank you very much.
Okay. Would you like to share with us about our topic?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yes.
So exam, I think exam it is exam it is a challenges in our life. So it is not only exam when you sit in the table with the teacher and try to pass exam. Exam is a challenges in our life and is concomitant with our life. So you pass from one challenges to another, and you grow with challenges as much. The more challenges you have, the better you become. So I think challenges make you stronger, make you smarter, and even I'm here. It is also a challenge, and this challenge helped me to grow, I think. So yeah, have more challenges in your life, and it will make you better.
Okay, thank you. And friends, essential concomitant part of our meeting is humor also. So please meet the master of jokes, Lena Klinder.
How much time do we have for?
Hello everyone, I've prepared some jokes.
2 minutes, okay.
Some of you may have heard about them because I was speaking about this on some previous meetings, but some of them will be new. So the first one.
In your life, not political, but about cinema, about theater, something what was new for you, and other roles. So come to our club and you will have good practice for polishing your public speaking skills. And now, friends, is the most intriguing part of our meeting. This is the time for impromptu speeches. So please meet brave and smart and experienced men who can not just Ukrainian, Russian, English, and German. Please meet Vyacheslav Naumov.
How much time every speaker?
Excuse me, how much time is for every speech?
Usual topic session.
As usual, 2 minutes.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, friends. I'm Vyacheslav, and I'm your table topic master for you. We're starting our session. I'd like to say that this part of our meeting is great opportunity because you have a chance to be here on the stage and feel yourself as an important person because you can share your ideas, share your thoughts and joking around a little bit. A few weeks ago, our friend from Toastmaster, from Kyiv, had spent great, incredible Hogwarts party. You know, yeah?
Yeah, we still remember.
Yeah, we still remember. And I reflect on why we're so inspired, so excited about this party. And my answer is because we all like magic. And this is why we have this main topic of table topic session about magic, anywhere, anyhow. Before starting and beginning, I want to just explain a couple rules for this part of our meeting. Speech is short time, from 1 minute to 2 minutes. Every person who will be on the stage, please tell your name, and our audience, please support by applause our speakers. Please use simple structure of the speech, opening body conclusion. Don't forget to use word of the day, concomitant. As session master, my job to give you question for the next speech and engage a volunteer on the stage. After session, we will vote for best speaker of this session. Yeah, right? We vote. Any question about rules? Let's start. Everything have an association. When I hear a magic word, I run back to Shrek movie scene, where Man and Wizard was asked to make a magic, and he asked, how about a hug instead? This is the best kind of magic. My first question, what is a magic for you exactly? Your definition about magic. Volunteers? Katerina, maybe you. What do you think about magic? Does it exist?
To go over there or no?
Yeah, welcome. Please applause. Just a minute.
Okay, so magic for me is to be positively every day, to be to fill in my life with magic. It means to be happy, to share my smile, to share my positive mood, to be kind and get back to me. So magic is to find out a balance between me and society.
Thank you. Another question. There is one part in our life sphere when people are so impressionable. Sometimes very, very impressionable. I mean, literally, when people want to do nothing but get old. Did you guess?
Could you repeat, please?
Okay.
The last.
There is one part of our life when people are so impressionable. I mean literally when they wanna get nothing or do nothing but get old. Did you guess about this sphere? I say about financial magic. What do you think? Does it exist? Financial magic. What? You?
Yeah, I would like to try. In my sphere, this kind of.
Any your thoughts? What do you think about?
Okay. I work in a crypto journalism sphere, and in our areas, this type or this kind of people, I call it scammers. Meaning like people who trying to make money over other people and just doom them. That's what I would like. Just want to say. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Now please tell your name.
Lilia.
Lilia. Thank you. Maybe raise any volunteer for this question.
I would like to add something.
Please, welcome.
Okay, we're talking about money magic, financial or magic that relates to finances. I think always about Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. Honestly, I can wrap around my hand about logistics behind all that fancy modern ways of getting of that electronic coin. And if you take any regular person who talks about gains in their Bitcoin wallets, honestly, they will tell you something general, something basic, and they won't even explain you how all this process works. And when you don't know exactly how things works, how it operates, usually you can call it a magic. Indeed, when you don't know how it ticks, what makes it function, it's better just to say, maybe it's magic, or maybe magic elves sit there and operate the thing, and it will be enough as explanation. That's my position on financial magic.
Could I would like to argue with you if you don't mind?
By all means.
What's your name? No.
What do you mean exactly by saying because behind Bitcoin actually there is a strong mathematic principle that allows us to work in a correct way, I would say. What do you mean exactly? Could you elaborate?
Okay, usually people, they don't have expertise in all things. You agree with it, yes? So, usually people like to sound highbrow or just to make impressions that they know something about a topic or about a subject they are talking about. So, if you're taking Bitcoin, usually they don't know exactly some maybe basics around Bitcoin. They know the certain patterns, how to work with it, but they don't know exactly what happens with the process. They just wave their hands around, make smart faces, and so on and so on. So when a person just not in touch with the subject, it's better for him or her just say that and maybe say that, honestly, I don't know, frankly, maybe it's magic, maybe not. I need time to research about this thing, about this subject. And by talking about it, because due to the reason that in like like 500 years ago, during Middle Ages, people usually explain everything with one word: magic, or maybe God will it. So I'd like to return to that very simple, very precise explanation.
Thank you. Let's move on, guys. Last year I was subscribed on a Facebook page where there are a lot of videos about sport achievements. There was many stories, many inspiring stories about how someone shedded weight or overcome yourself or reach stardom in sports. It's for me, it's like health sort of magic. My question, please share your story about health magic.
Health?
Health. Sport achievement, etc.
No.
Okay.
Magic is my favorite topic. Recently, I brought home a gold medal and a chocolate. Thanks to magic, thanks to speaking about magic. That's why I continue about magic. Health, the most important thing first. Without health, we are nothing, and we can do. And any other achievements is nothing. Comes to zero without health. And if something happens with health, what we do? Of course, we go to doctors first, but I have my personal experience when some my people who are close to me were in somehow trouble with health. Yes, they went to the doctor because we are modern people and we apply to a modern medicine. But parallel, concomitantly, they went to some specialists who were saying some magic words, doing some magic rituals, etc. And thanks God, we are okay now. That's why I like to say that magic exists in this sphere. But what is the most important? That those people believed, they did believe in what they were doing. First, they believed in doctors, in their healing. And secondly, they believed in those rituals and those words they applied to the alternative specialists. And when people believe in any way, even if they take placebo, if they believe, if they are strong in their beliefs, it will help. And this is magic.
John, our dear doctor, maybe you have some
Okay,
story.
I was afraid of that. Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Hello again. So, about magic, it is really an interesting topic because when you think about magic, basically you think about a magician who puts a big hat up there, shows it to you, it's empty, and all of a sudden there's a rabbit inside. So basically it surprises you, it shocks you, and that's the big factor in there. Because especially in medicine, for example, I would love to be a surgeon one day, hopefully it will happen. Like, all I can imagine is like doing the procedure and everything, and when it goes well, the sad part is sometimes it will not go well, even though you do your best. But on those moments that when it goes well, and the patient is finally alright, and you go out there and you see the relatives of that patient, like their mother, their daughter, their children, and you see the smile on their faces, that is the best magic that they can give you and you can give them, basically. And it's the magic of life. And sometimes it surprises you. That is what it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Furthermore, let's turn to magic wizard Merlin and his offer to make a magic of communication. You know that the Hollywood call as fabric of dream, Elsa, yeah? Why? Because there are a lot of movies with real or make-believe story with happy ends. When I was a teenager, my favorite film was Top Gun, with Tom Cruise as starring role. It's classical happy end movie with about Navy pilots, where character of Tom Cruise overfought all enemies and made a lot. Please share your favorite movie with happy end. You?
Okay.
Movies with happy end. I would like to tell about it very simply. Any movie created in Western context, because happy end is a tradition of the Western European and American cinema industry. Almost any movie has happy end. Any movie. Especially I like Bondiana movies, especially I like Tom Cruise movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, even Terminator, which is such strong movie but with happy end. It's very evil creature from iron, it's very real danger, but with a happy end due to the very hot effects. But what is my imagination about the effects of such movies? The opposite. First effect, a positive effect, is they make people bolder, they make people optimistic. The people think, I will do anything. My hero is Tom Cruise, my hero is Sean Connery, my hero is Terminator in the second series. It's really positive. Another thing is negative. People begin to believe in magic. Magic is a wonder. But wonder is something which is made without any effect. In real life, there is usually nothing which can be made without any effect. You should invest some time, some process, some health to get the result. So, this is misunderstanding. It's disorientation. When people are thinking, the problems will be solved by themselves. There's no offense. They have heroes. This will solve this for us. This will do not a real imagination of life and sometimes laziness. So, cinema magic should be, but it should not replace the real life. It should replace the real people characters, the real people imaginations, and the real people dreams. That's all I think about such kinds of magic.
Finally, my last question. About people in magic. It's like by Shakespeare, to be or not to be. To wait magic, or opportunities, or good situation, or right people, or to create magic. What do you prefer? To wait or to create? Welcome.
Hello to everyone, my name is Lena, and I also like this theme about magic, and sometime later we were discussing this theme, and it was very interesting, because magic is something come to return with our real life every day and every minute. And I prefer to create magic. I have some parts of my life, and in every part I prefer to create with magic. The first part I want to tell about is my profession, because and this is a vital part of magic in our real life. special types of communication with children, and I think that it's very magical because a lot of people can't repeat their types of communication. They can't find the way how to talk to a child or how to make them feel better. And I think that it's really, really magical, and I don't think that every person can do the same.
Any volunteers?
Yeah.
Welcome.
I'd like to continue at the previous topic about teachers. It's great to create magic, yes, but it's great to have feedback. Feedback from students. It is really impress you when you see the results of your working. The students like the small seeds which you put in the ground, then it becomes very beautiful tree, very beautiful flower, and this is magic. This is real magic. And when you see the result of your hard working, you feel how it works in real life. It supports you, and you want to go on and go on, and then stop. And that's motivate us, and it's like pick us up, and it's makes us to believe that the magic is real, and that's why on the opposite we also continue to create the magic. And that's why it's very hard to say what is the best point to make or to gain. They are similar. It's like the left hand and right hand. We cannot live without each one. Yes?
Thank you.
What's your name?
Darina.
Darina. Thank you. Thank you.
That's all? Okay.
About magic. I would like to talk about a bit different magic. So we think magic it is what we don't understand, and in childhood we believe in fairy tales, we believe in cartoons, in superheroes, and I think the children the children very need this magic, and so it's great to give children a magic, to tell them fairy tales, to show them cartoons, and feed their interest to magic. So
Thank you. Thank you. So guys, that's all? Okay. Summarizing the talk. Magic exists. Magic is everywhere, is around. As always, all in our hands. Almost. Thank you very much for this amazing table topic session. In the end, I would kindly remind you about our speaker for election, the best speaker in this session.
And I will support you with spreading this.
Okay. You can have a paper, and please write down on the paper the name of the best speaker in your opinion. First was Katerina about general magic. Second was Lydia.
No, I don't think so. I might be like a member for avoiding, because I was trying to reply to you and So I really mind. I don't want to be.
I need to describe you what I'm doing now.
You can vote or not.
I need to describe you what we are doing now. We are voting for the best speaker of this session.
Yeah, but I don't think that I was kind of a speaker. I was just trying to share some thoughts.
Okay. Let's speak about after me.
I don't want to be kind of weighted, so if you don't mind.
You won't accept yourself.
Yeah.
You don't want to be as in the list of speakers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Second was Slav. Third was Anna about health magic. Then was our timer
Alex.
Alexei about.
But before me there was Jan and Lina Rusko. But
Okay.
I don't remember.
When was Lena? Lena, okay, Lena. Then Marina. Darina. Yeah. And was speaker was Arthur. Okay. Oh, sorry, John. John was. Oh, John, please raise your hand.
Jan was.
Okay, thank you.
Or maybe one more time.
We have 1 minute for voting.
Thank you. Amazing table topic session. It was like elevator, but not up in the future, but down in my childhood. And I remember these Oriental fairy tales, and I was impressed by the saying abracadabra. We think that it's about nonsense, but in ancient Arabic it means making magic. Abracadabra, I make the magic. Thank you. And now, dear friends, please give the papers to Natalia. And we came to the final part of our meeting. The concomitant component of our meeting is evaluation, because we can speak, we can deliver speeches, but we need to grow up in public speaking. That is why we have evaluators, and now let's be evaluated. And I give the floor to evaluator of table topic session, Zoya Gulko.
How much time for evaluator?
Since last time I took the role of my husband who was sick. Today he will be, instead of me, he will be table topic.
Okay, please, Vyacheslav Gulko, welcome.
What's time of Vyacheslav Gulko? Да, сколько времени?
3 minutes.
6 minutes.
Six.
I'll give you the paper with the winner.
Okay, folks. I will try to evaluate your short speeches. I understand it was not very easy to talk on this topic, and everyone had different attitude and point of view according to the definite specific question. And the first speaker was Katerina. She told us about her understanding and definition of magic, on the positive, on the balance, and different kind of things. It was a good idea, and I enjoy it, but I would like to remind everyone that this is just a short speech, which must be structured, must have little bit introduction, body of the text, and conclusion. It is very important. And it is for all people who participate in this session, not for you personally. But I hope next time it will be easier, because for the first time it is always very difficult, especially for such kind of topics. Vlad told us about, it was question about Bitcoins, yes, about finance. And he tried to introduce us to this new kind of currency and how it is influencing our life and if it can be trusted or not, and so on and so on. It was an interesting idea, and he tried to explain everything for such short period of time, and I hope everyone could understand. And Anna told us about magic health, yes? Yes, it was a very interesting topic because everyone tried to find his own doctor or medical help, and it is very difficult to find the right person who can really help you. And of course, it was an interesting idea, and I agree with you that belief is very important when you go to the doctor. If you really trust this doctor, if you believe that the result will be positive, it can help. But if you don't have any faith, any confidence that it will help, it will not happen never. Okay, thank you, Anna, for this interesting thoughts. The next person was John, as a future surgery, I hope. He tried to explain us how magic is important for the doctor, because according to his idea, the surprise is also some kind of magic thing, action. And people are waiting for surprise, for good surprise, of course. Nobody wants to receive bad surprise or bad results. And it is very important for any doctors to be prepared to surprise their client, to help, and to make it happy and healthy. It's good point. Alex was talking about movie match. It was an interesting topic, and I like his idea that happy end can be positive and negative. And he tried to explain both sides of this idea. What the result of positive thinking and what is the result of negative thinking, and how they can communicate and influence on the public. Thank you, Alex. It was good talk. Lena told us about very specific things connected with her professional life. It is very important when we use example from our personal life, because personal life is also personal, and it is interesting to know about every person who are sitting in this audience, because we can read many interesting stories and fictions, but personal life is also very important and helpful for us. And I like these two stories about makeup, magic, and especially about family magic, relationship. I like this very much. I agree that family life, it is really magic. And who will be successful in this magic will be a very happy person. And who will be failed and will not be able to create any magic for his spouse or her spouse, life will be awful, terrible. And I liked your ideas very much. And Masha informed us about her future profession, and I didn't know that Masha would like to be a teacher. But teacher, as always, it is a person who is creating the magic things. Because when we are communicating with children, teenagers especially, it is always a magic idea because it is so difficult. We need to prepare something unusual to surprise them, to make their life magic. In this case, they will be very respectful, and they will evaluate your efforts, and they can be happy because your efforts have the teacher. Thank you, Masha. And Darina told us about herself also. She told us about seeds, how seeds could grow, and how could we see the fruits. The fruits of the teaching, the fruits of the magic, because growth, it is always a magic. It is a magic how this small seed can produce a big tree with fruits, and it is real magic. If we understand that this is magic, we can walk in this direction. Very hard to make it real. Thank you. And Artem tried to give definition, and he used also such terms as fairy tale, cartoons, and tried to explain us how they are connected with the magic thing. And really, people who are creating some movie, some stories, writer, and movie maker, they are really doing some miracles, doing some magic things. Sometimes they are not exist in real life, but we like them because we can see something unusual which can surprise us, to give us more hope, more knowledge, and to try to be like this idea of people who are not exist in real life. And I like this definition. It can be part of such definition. It can be many definitions of this topic, but we could see that all people try to explain magic topic from different point of view, from different perspective, and totally we receive a bigger and better picture of these topics. And I appreciate all of you who participated in this table topic session, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Please declare the winner.
Okay, according to voting of audience, the winner is
You should be for sure next time.
Wait a minute.
We
have
a special prize.
We have this prize.
Irina, this is our new tradition. We give chocolate
Thank you
to
so
the
much.
winner.
Thank you.
I would like to invite John. He was the winner of a previous meeting. So please come here. The chocolate is coming. I promise that you will get it.
Thanks a lot.
Very cool.
Thank you everyone. Now it's time to listen to concomitant theme of public speaking about crush sound and words. So please welcome account Alex.
Okay.
Today's topic, I think, the words not concomitant but magic. And today we saw two chocolates. So, but I will say not about the magic, but about real. So let's sum up the words or sounds like that I catch from your speech. Okay, first, Yuri Stitsenko, it's two words, two sounds. Zoya 1, John 1, Katerina, it's 11, especially the sounds you got. Natalia Chigana, I didn't get nothing, it's 0. I think you winner.
That's strange.
Darina, yes, it's 13. You said a lot of that's something. Try to not thinking about what you say. Your English is very good, but thinking about like first think, then said. It will be easy for you to get your level of, and it's for all people, I say, not only for Darina. Then Ludmila, it's Ludmila, 17. A lot of and then Artem, it's 15. Then Lena, it's Lena. Yeah. Not Yelena, it's maybe Lena.
Well, actually, we have 3 Lenas.
Yeah.
At least 2.
Four?
But only 2 were speaking.
So I guess it's me.
Yeah, it's one.
One is okay.
Виклик суматаж.
8, and Lila 3,
Виклик суматаж.
Vlad 13, Anna 2 words, or 2000, sorry. Alex 1. Alex, yeah, your very good speech. Without, it's a good example to see how he didn't take this bad sounds. Yelena 10, Marina 7, and Vyacheslav Kulko, very good, but I think very little, 2000. But it's very good speech. So, a little bit real life, not magic.
Okay, thank you. And now it's time to listen about our grammar. Natalia, please share with us. What did you know?
It's my pleasure. Thank you. And I should admit that I was very pleased of tonight's meeting, and I almost forgot to count the mistakes because I was listening with open mouth. And I do hope that I have counted all the examples of the word of the day, and I will announce it later. About mistakes, so inside I catch not many of them. In general, there are some, what I have noticed, there are some issues with stresses or with pronunciation of some words. For example, idea, not idea, or in case it is answer, we do not pronounce W, answer, not pronounced it. And also plurals. Few weeks ago, not few weeks ago. Also, there were some problems with the use of word positive. We're talking about if we give characteristic of a person, it is a positive person, not positively person. What I've liked among the words and phrases which were pronounced today, as Vyacheslav already mentioned, this seeds, people are seeds, and I really appreciate that because all of us are seeds, and we're seeds and still are, and we're growing. And what also I liked, I don't know this word, I didn't hear this combination like crypto-journalism, I don't know what is it, and I want to explore. You give some, something to think over. And also what I liked from today's session is family magic, of course, because it's something which inspires, which makes us stronger. And now I'm going to the word of the day, and it's concomitant, which means like co-occurrence. And several people use it, and I would like to thank all of you for the use of the word. It's Artyom, Yuri, Slava, Anna, and Alex Grushko use that word, and Yuri used it twice. The rest, one time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Natalia. He promised to come back, so please meet strong timekeeper Alex Gustav.
Can you film? First take.
Okay.
Okay.
How
I am coming back.
did we manage time?
I think that as a whole, managed time except of maybe me and Vyacheslav Kulko. What about I said about our time keeping? We had two kinds of speeches for the day. Normal time speeches and very short. Very short I don't take into consideration because this is not a speech. This is simply two words. They each such speakers speak quickly, so there's no use to analyze them. But I would like to mention that time rating was in Vyacheslav's speech as evaluator,
he should to spend 6 minutes, but really spent about 8 minutes. The best timekeeper was Darina with really good speech and strict 10 minutes. I appreciated that it is normal that in table topic you have 2 minutes speech. But Darina used approximately 80 seconds. Good speech and good 10 minutes. What about others? Yuri. During the first part, warming up, you have 3 minutes as normal. What about real speaking? Yuri, 2 minutes. Zoe Volko, 2.5 minutes. Jan, about 2 minutes. Katerina, 1 minute. But this was a normal speech. Darina, also good time speaking, 2 minutes and half. Ludmila, 2 minutes and half. Artem, 75 seconds. Lena, 90 seconds. 1 minute and half. 1 minute and half. Table topic session. The norm is 2 minutes. Great. Once more. Half a minute. Lydia, half a minute. Leon, just in time, 2 minutes. Natalie, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Jan, 70 seconds. Lena Rushko, 3 minutes. 1 minute extra. Marina, 80 seconds. Darina, as I mentioned, also 80 seconds. Artyom, 50 seconds. That's all about our time results. Don't be too short, but don't be too long. To use optimal time limits. It's optimal coordination of good speech, structure and time. Thank you.
And we came to the last report of our meeting, but before I would like to say about our guest who was very persistent today, and she came to this location and tried to find where we will be at night, but nevertheless he could not do it. Ludmila, please come and share with us what did touch you during this meeting, and you had so strong plan to be speaker during this meeting, but during the meeting you had probably some anchor. So how would you evaluate yourself and share with us? So what was interesting for you, was what did touch you, and probably would you like to have some role for the next meeting?
Really, it was very interesting situation when I tried to come tonight to our meet. I have a job place. I work not far from our location on the next street, but I know my problem that I'm not good oriented on the street, on the city in general. It's my problem, and I know that a lot of people have the same problem. So on a dinner time, I'm coming to the streets and looking around to understand where I should go at the dark part of the day. I took my colleague with myself, who are good driver and who are good oriented the city. We are walking around because I had information that we have a meet tonight in the building, red building, opposite the synagogue. I don't know in English it's the same or no, but you understand me. We are walking around 2 times, and really we couldn't understand where should I go in the evening. And thank you that in our time we have a mobile phone, and I can use it for can use it anywhere, and my friends can help me to orient in the area. And I was really surprised when I saw just red door, not red building. And of course I met with my friends and coming to this room. I'm very interested for people who can speak very easy in English and who have very strong and correct pronunciation in English. Sometimes I really think that you have some magic soul, magic mind, magic memory to remember a lot of words, a lot of phrases. And at the first meet when I came to you, I told you my story, how I knew about this club. Really, you can make magic every day when we want to have something. So I hope that sometime we can get all what we want in this life. And my role here, that for myself, I believe that I will improve my level. I will understand everyone who can speak in English, and I will say like you very easily and very interested. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ludmila, but you are experienced and you avoided my direct question about the role for next meeting. Thank you. And nevertheless,
that you forget about this question.
Ludmila was invited by Marina, and this meeting Marina invited Darina also. And Toastmasters are very thankful to you, Marina. And as I know, the topics about exams and magic are very close to you. So nevertheless, you kept silence. So how can you describe, how can you evaluate yourself? What did hold you sitting and keeping silence, not being volunteer? So please share with us.
Okay, my name is Marina and I'm teacher of Italian language, and I had today 4 lessons. It's around 8 hours Italian language. Of course I came and my head came here, and my head is whole of Italian words, phrases, and I'm a little bit tired. And of course, I'm working with Italian language every day, and it's about 12 years like interpreter and teacher. And I just listen some English topics and not use English words for a long time. I don't work with English. I came here to become better and start to practice my English. And I like this place that I share my emotions and my opinion about this club with my students, with my friends, and I hope that they like it very much. Thank you.
Hasta la vista, babies. Do we have the report of general evaluator? Okay, please.
Thank you, guys and girls, for the wonderful possibility to be present at this wonderful real magic meeting and to be the general evaluator of such a great event here. First of all, I'd like to mark that it was a meeting without prepared speeches. And it is a challenge for the leaders of the meeting to conduct this meeting because we do not have prepared speakers. I would like to thank Yuri. He was prepared as always, and he was initiative. He was a real leader. He took the responsibility and he conducted this meeting greatly. What I'd like to mark to be improved probably next time. When you address questions to the guests, first of all, I know that there is a tradition that all guests, even if they come not the first time to the meeting, they are asked, who are you? What is your name? Why are you here? Even me, I wanted to present myself because I am not a member of the club. Only members of the club are not asked. There is a tradition, it was not somehow kept today. And the next point was that the first person was asked, she continued to sit down, and this chain continued. It's better to propose people to stand up. We feel ourselves like stand-uppers, and we present ourselves better. Alex Gusev, a timer, he was a real magician because he managed to convict us that the notebook with blue card is a green card, the notebook with yellow card is a yellow card, and the simple pen is a red card. And we believed in it. But then appeared a piano from the bushes, and at least we obtained 3 proper cards. It was a real magic, the second magic of this meeting. Grammarian Natalia also was proactive. She took this role promptly and she prepared the word of the day, nice word of the day, because this word, concomitant, is connected to Black Friday. I do remember Soviet times when we bought some deficit goods and we obtained a concomitant good, so they were not deficit, not necessary for us, but we were forced to buy it also. I would like to remind everybody, I do not want to stay on personalities and to pronounce somebody's names, but I would like to remind to everybody that we are here to participate in speaking club, in speaking meeting, and we came here to speak. If somebody is proposed to take a role, don't refuse, just take this role, take the responsibility, and you will have a nice opportunity to train yourself in public speaking. We are here in the most warm, in the most comfortable, in the most supportive and friendly environment to train our public speaking abilities. All other environments are less friendly, believe me. Yelena took unexpectedly for us the role of joke maker and joke master, and she succeeded brilliantly in it. We laughed frankly and sincerely, especially about the joke concerning Barack Obama and Mr. President.
I'm glad you liked the joke.
Japan was brilliant. Also, we have 2 impromptu sessions. We have warm-up session and
table topic session, which are very similar to each other, and people were in not really comfortable environment, as much comfortable as possible, but they were in challenge, and they took this challenge well, and we obtained 2 wonderful sessions. Thanks to everybody who participated in it. What is also my observation that this meeting unfortunately was overwhelmed by crutch words. My consideration is that it's better to make polls instead of using crutch words, and it really helps in our everyday life. So take care about crutch words here on the meeting and in other situations of your life. Concerning the evaluators, we have only one appointed evaluator of speakers. It was a table topic session evaluator, Mr. Vyacheslav. Thank you very much. You were very attentive, and you remind briefly the content of all speeches. It was great. Probably it would be better not to paraphrase this content of what was said, but also give the general evaluation whether this short impromptu speech corresponds to the traditions of Toastmasters Club, whether it is structured, whether it has introduction, body, and conclusion, etc. And Vyacheslav also, unfortunately, did not give the evaluation to the table topic session master. I will do it instead. Thank you, Mr. Vyacheslav. You created a great topic. You created a real magic. The topic was interesting for people. We had volunteers, which is not so often on the Toastmasters meeting. And you produced good questions, and you explained the rules. Very nice. Probably you could ask questions in a more short way. Just to compress it, and it would be better. It could be better. Regarding our other evaluators, timer. Alex, you were creative, and it was first my experience when I heard so much laughing during timer evaluation. It was great. You were accepted warmly by the auditorium, and I'd like that the tradition of giving chocolate to the winners of the tabletop session exists. It's nice, and we had also magic of 2 winners and 2 chocolates today. Also, a counter was very creative, and he also plucked applause and a laugh from the auditorium, which is great. You're a great stand-upper. Please stand up next time and take the roles. And I wish everybody to participate in Toastmasters meetings, to take roles, to prepare speeches, and we will be in a great environment, and we will take a nice opportunity to train our speaking abilities and leadership possibilities.
The presentation was very helpful for us. Only one suggestion. It's one big disadvantage that using of word of the day is not taken into account of grammarian for general evaluator. But nevertheless, thank you. I'm grateful to everyone who came and participated in our meeting. Please come next time. And I declare our meeting adjourned. And come to the floor, and we will take the picture.
Thank you.
Great,